2020 draft.
To win a national championship and build them into a Super Bowl team? Welcome to the program.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to week 11 of the program. We've got a bunch of recruiting stuff. Playoffs will wrap up tonight for all three conferences, sending one team from each for a chance to win our first national championship since we did not have a college season last year. We're going to start with that. Then Carl's going to jump in and answer a couple questions while Nate is feverishly working right now to make sure all of the top 25 stuff is good to go. So in Conference 3 right now, it looks like SMU has a 49-point lead on Michigan. They are the two in a chance to win it, or one of these teams will go to the national championship next week. I will also point out, so the 6 teams playing, winner does get paid. Possibly on Monday. I've got to make sure the League Safe actually lets me submit or release payments. I'm not 100% sure if it'll let me do that right. I think it's like 10 days after the deadline. The deadline was just a couple days ago. I was trying to give everybody as long as they possibly could to get paid or to get their money in. Still have 2 teams who have not paid. So if you are one of those teams watching, please take care of that because we're literally in the last week of the thing here. So, but yeah, Michigan, SMU, winner will get paid and gets to go into the national championship. Into Conference 2, I believe we are getting a rematch of the top 2 teams here as well. That was not the top 2 teams in Conference 3. We had a bunch of upsets in Conference 3. In Conference 2, Georgia right now has a 92.85 lead over Florida. They are fighting to get into the national championship. And then in Conference 1, we have UCSD and Stanford battling to get to the national championship. UCSD sitting at 42 points currently. So again, winner of these matchups not only gets paid, but they get to go into the national championship and will be playing next week. We will try and remind them to set their lineups. Carl, you had a couple questions in the Discord that you wanted to address on the show tonight.
Yes, Sal had a couple questions. First question, when will off-season recruiting week be where we have 50 points to give per player take place? Will it be right after the 2 weeks we have left? Yes, except now we only have 1 week left. So we have week 12 this week for recruiting. And then the following week will be National Signing Day. So you need to get your flips in. If you're doing any flips, you need to get your locks into your commissioner. And then we will do that prior to the National Signing Day. If we don't get to 15 recruits, what happens to the players you have points on and no one else does? Those players will auto-commit to you if you do not have 15. You get those players until you get to 15. And your other question was if there are multiple players, how do you decide which ones? You will need to send a rankings list of recruits that you're in on to your commissioner prior to that show. If you fail to do so, we're just going to go in whatever order they are ranked in on our sheets, on your sheets as well. And the top guys will go to you. If you have a guy lower that would have gone to you, he will go into the walk-on draft. What about players multiple teams have points on at the end if there are still spots left? In that case, it would just be like every single week. It'll be a odds-based system where those teams will battle it out in order to get to 15. Once a team's at 15, they will no longer be in on any other recruits. So that's where you're going to really want to put in your list, because say you have a guy you're battling for that's ranked really low and you want him more than you want Joe Smith, who you have ranked higher, you're going to want to be able to submit that ranking sheet. Otherwise, you're just going to automatically get Joe Smith. If you lose a player on a flip, can you pick a player right then to replace them from someone you have points on? Is it 1 or 2 flips that can happen? You can have 2 flips happen on your team, and those flips and the locks will happen prior to National Signing Day. So those will already have happened. So if Texas loses 2 guys, that's going to have happened. And then they are going to be able to scoop up 2 players on National Signing Day. And they've continued to put in points even though they're at 15, so that if that does happen, they have guys that they can get. I think that's all of it.
All right.
Great questions, though.
Nate, do we need to stall longer?
No, we're good. I just finished. I
Okay.
was just double checking.
Okay. Let me know when it's good to add to the screen here.
Let me see. It actually may still be. Let me reshare it because it was shared earlier. Let's see. Now, I apologize to everybody. I got kind of a little case of the sniffles here, so my voice is going to be a little stopped up. But let's see. Okay, it's ready to go when y'all are.
All right.
Okay. So as we were talking about earlier, we have the updated brackets here with Conference 1, UCSD and Stanford winning out, going to the finals here. Y'all already walked through all these matchups, correct? So I can just kind of brisk through these so everybody can see blah, blah, blah. C3, like we were talking about, y'all managed to pull the double upset with the 5 and 6 seed actually advancing to the championship, which is awesome. Very proud of y'all. It's a lot of fun. Which brings us to our new top 25. So as you can see, lots of movement as per typical college conference playoff chaos, because, every team that has made it to another round of the playoffs, that's naturally your top 6. Everybody who's eliminated is this next 6 after that, and all of that ranked by the amount of points you scored this week. So we've got some big movers with UCSD and Stanford taking those top 2 spots, Georgia falling to the 3rd spot, Florida taking definitely the biggest tumble out of that winners circle with the lowest point scored this week for a winner. So they're going into the championship with a lot on the line. It's pretty much win and be a top 3 seed, or lose and you're probably going to be the 6th seed. SMU definitely had the most lucrative weekend or week, jumping all the way from 14 to 4 and claiming that top spot in C3 with a chance to be in that top 3 if they can take home the medal. Michigan was at least at 7-4, but still a pretty good jump for both of them, again, being that the bottom 2 seeds in their conference. You can kind of check out the rest of these. These will be updated on your board to see the different movement. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out. But this is as it stands now, and I'm going to jump over to the new bowl projections.
Really quick, just so everybody knows on that last page. So Ohio State down to Florida State, or I'm sorry, UCSB are locked in. None of those teams are moving. Those are
Correct.
all the teams that were eliminated last week. So just so you guys know, like, we're locked into our spots. There's no moving.
Yes.
7 through 12.
Correct. Now the only movement will be in this top 6 as these teams duke it out, and the top 3 will be the 3 conference champions, and the 3 conference losers will be 4, 5, 6. So let's see, which takes us to bowl projections. So UCSD and Georgia both up there with their new projection to make the national championship, and SMU, like we were saying, jumped all the way up to now projected to make the national championship. So good job there. I'm not sure who all, I should have taken a picture of what it was like before, but like we were saying, a lot of these down here are pretty much locked in. It's really these upper bowls that have kind of started to move around. So make sure you're tracking.
You never know with the selection committee where they're going to put these people.
Correct. These are always just projections, and everything is still moving. This is really just for fun and keeping up with how we feel like everybody's doing at this point. After the playoffs conclude, the commissioners will definitely be reviewing everything from the season to the playoffs and making our final decisions before sending out invites. So,
and I'll add really quick though, with this pain in the ass selection committee, which we are not a part of. We don't know these people. They do all this stuff on their own. They just kind of sit in the room. They watch the games, or so they say. They watch the games. Sometimes they say that doesn't matter. They just look at all the stats and strength of schedule and all that good stuff. Just point that out. Can you pull that? Oh, you closed out of it. Okay, I was to say. Well, anybody in the bowl games 2 through like you will stay in your tiered bowl game. I'll just put it that way. You may not be playing like I believe UCLA was like in a tier 2 bowl game. You may not end up playing whoever was on there just a minute ago, but you won't jump up to a tier 1 or drop down to a tier 3, right? Like you're going to stay in your tier. You just may not end up playing that now. Well, yeah, I guess that's right. Who knows with the selection committee, but I would think
they're a weird group, but they say they know what they're doing.
I would assume if you're in a tier 2 bowl right now, you're going to stick in there. You just may not get the opponent that was listed on Nate's sheet there, which I believe you can check out as well from your coaching book.
Boards.
Board.
The boards.
Or that.
The boards.
I still don't know it. I still don't know what that is. So, all right. Are we ready to get recruiting going? Anything else either one of you gentlemen have?
Let's roll.
All right. I believe we're starting with Conference 2.
We are.
Okay.
In Conference 3 and 1 are pretty big. Just a little news. Rice, their investigation has concluded.
Yes.
And then they made a couple trades, and now they are down to, what are you at, 13 recruits?
13.
And Garrett Rangel is still out there for somebody. So, number 1, Shaz Preston, wide receiver out of Louisiana. 727 points in between 3 schools. 80-15-5 split between Rice, Florida, and Maryland. We all know where he should go.
Very upset. Oh, sweet! My screen's lagging.
Looks like you're gonna win
now
it.
Florida.
Rice gets Shaz.
Oh, thank gosh!
How pissed would you have been if I upset you with the 5 there?
I would have been very, very upset. After all that I went through, if I would have lost Shaz Preston, it would not have been a good night. Real quick, we have a question from Tristan. Player doesn't go over 200 points after off-season recruiting. So
they just have to be at least 40 from one school in order to commit.
On National Signing Day. Yeah.
Yep.
So just to throw this in there in case there's a follow-up question. So if you do not have 40, that means you don't get them. They're going to be in the freshman draft next year. Just so in case anybody is wondering that, you have to have at least 40 for them to solo commit to if no one else is put in on them.
Well, they have to have 40. Yes, you have to have at least 40. Yeah, that pretty much yes. Yeah. That's the best way to put it. I was trying to think if
right, you could put 35 and if your bonus gets you to 40, that counts as 40.
Right.
Yeah, it's 40 total points, yeah.
Yep. All right. I'll flip this back over to you after I announce Ryan Otten, tight end out of Washington, is committed to Washington as a solo commit. Congratulations to Teach. All right, Rice, this could be your 15th recruit. Take it away.
Oh, I'm going to read it? Okay. This is a wide receiver out of Louisiana. The coldest rumor is his middle name is To Ever Do It, Crawford. Committed to Louisiana. Go Tigers. The odds are 80-20 between Georgia and Rice because I could not resist trying to get me some of the coldest.
I don't even know if I
had a hard debate not going after him.
Well, you're not going to get the upset there. Georgia gets the coldest.
The coldest to ever do it. Too bad. Next up is going to be Kobe Prentice, wide receiver out of the state of Alabama. They are split between a 70-20-10 split, USC, UCLA, and UTSA. Lots of U's.
Doesn't look like we're going to get an upset here either, and we are not.
Nice and chalky. That's what I needed.
For once.
Always. Yeah, that's it for Conference 2. Woohoo.
So, woo.
Really pissed at Caleb Burton that he can't decide whether or not he wants to commit.
Hey, Shaz was the last one on my board I needed to go ahead and get done. So I'm happy. Now to just go get number 15. Or whatever number it'll be after all the trades I've made. All right.
Any visits or anything that you guys know of for 2? Did Boss put any notes in?
And this would have been the last week to get any visits because players will not be visiting on National Signing Day. Yeah. They have all said that they want to be at home with mom and dad in their high school gym with the table and whatever the banner is behind them to make their announcement.
Awesome TikTok videos. Yeah. Let's see. All right. I'm going to start out Conference 3. It's also starting out with Shaz Preston, so getting a double commit from him tonight. Wide receiver out of Louisiana. This is a 60-30-10 split between Michigan, LSU, and NC State. Go Tigers.
We're gonna start seeing a bunch of upsets here. What I tell
Well,
you. That
he
sucks for
gave it
Michigan.
to him. He gave it to him.
Look
Do
at
it.
that.
Do it.
The
Do it.
Go Tigers, man. LSU. Just I don't even. What Colin must have paid this.
I love
these
this for you, Colin. I love this for you so much that this has
commissioners
somehow
just-
worked.
It is so ridiculous. If Colin did not have Nate saying "Go Tigers," he would never land.
He would never land a recruit. He wouldn't land
He was
anyone.
not leading. He was not leading on any other ones.
We need to look back and see if he was leading on anybody. I think he got a solo commit from Trevante Citizen, and that's it.
I don't think he's gotten any of the guys. He was leading on like 2, and I'm almost positive he got upset on both of those. Like I'm almost positive he's won all of his by upset.
It's the Go Tiger magic.
All right,
I'm going to find out while you guys continue this. I will look this up.
All right, next up is going to be Armani Winfield, wide receiver out of Texas, committed to UT. This is a 70-20-10 split between Florida, SMU, and LSU. I'm going to just save the magic. You might need it later.
All right, so it's not going to be SMU or LSU. So Armani Winfield stays as a.
There you go. Seminole.
He won Jaden Blue as a 10%er. This is rigged.
This is rigged. Oh no, Brandon's not happy. No Tiger magic here. All right,
Where did
next
Armani Winfield go?
to FSU.
Perfect. Thank you.
Florida State. Next up is going to be Ryan Otten, tight end out of Washington, committed or undecided in, the real college football. 7-20-10 split between NC State, Vanderbilt, and Pepperdine. Oh, and chalk going NC State. See, I believe NC State is about, or not NC State. I believe Vanderbilt's about full. I need to go check. I should know that
I
off the
believe
top
they
of my
have
head, but I don't.
13.
13. That's the last count I had. So could be closing in. We do have a solo commit, Marquez Dortch, athlete out of Mississippi, committed to Ole Miss and committed as soon as he crossed the threshold with 201 points, entirely solo committed to UC Irvine. So good job. Let's see. Next up is Omar Cooper, wide receiver out of Indiana, committed to the University of Indiana. This is a 60-40 split between UNT and Florida State.
I'm just reading Michigan's.
Oh,
I know.
wow.
Oh, Florida State. Back to back.
For-
Seminoles having a good night. Let's see. Next up is going to be Rashad Dabinian, athlete out of the state of Georgia, committed to Arkansas. Go big. 60-30-10 split between Michigan, UCSB, and Pepperdine.
No Go Big Blue or anything.
No go big blue. There you go. You got it anyway. Let's see. I'm trying to look ahead to see who I may be rooting for later. So let's see.
He's
MJ
not on the
Morris,
board the rest of the
quarterback.
way.
I know LSU is done for the night. I'm sorry, Colin. MJ Morris, quarterback out of Georgia, committed to NC State. 85-10-5 split between UCSB, NC State, and Florida State. So let's see if we get some more chalk.
The Gauchos with a big lead.
Yep. They take it home. All right. This is an interesting one. Eli Raridan, tight end out of Iowa, I think that is, committed to Notre Dame. This was also a quick commit with only 206 points put towards him. It's a 40-40-20 split between Pepperdine, SMU, and UCF. So let's see if SMU's playoff run has impressed him enough. It has. There you go. Pony Express takes tight end home.
So wild to have ties this late in the recruiting season.
I know. That's very impressive. Let's see. All right, next up is going to be Kobe Prentice, wide receiver out of the state of Alabama. Another tie, 40-40-20 split between UCSB, Pepperdine, and SMU. Let's see if SMU goes 2 for 2.
Oh, it's not going to be Pepperdine.
No,
UCSB.
UCSB. Pony Excess. Let's see. And there
That's
we go.
the last one.
And last one of the night for Conference 3 is a solo commit, Zach Evans, running back out of Texas, committed to University of Minnesota. They are solo committing to UC Irvine. Say again?
I said, row the boat, Sky Yuma. Go first.
Oh, there you go. And that is it for C3. So,
all right. Conference 1. This guy, people have been waiting for a while. He had 1,400 points put into him.
Woo!
1,440.75. Ty Simpson, QB out of Tennessee, headed to Bama. 60-30-10 split between Tulane, Penn State, TCU, OSU, and UC Davis, missing the cut. But a lot of points put towards him.
Yeah, in fairness, OSU stopped recruiting him like 4 weeks ago.
I know you did. You finally figured out where the board was.
No, I just you kept dropping hints about maybe I should stop recruiting somebody, so I just did. Okay, just really quick for those of you who are watching and commenting in the Discord, we will readdress all that stuff again because I see some of you missed it. We've got like 7 players here in Conference 1. We'll get through these guys really quick and we'll readdress everything with locks and flips and all that good stuff. All right, so not Penn State or TCU, so congratulations to Tulane.
Oh, and Boz.
How come every time Boz doesn't show up on the show, he gets a player?
I don't know.
It's reverse luck of the show for him.
Next up, Sam Horn, QB out of Georgia, headed to Mizzou. 610 points on him, 80-20 split between TCU and Texas A&M. Texas is at 15. Otherwise, they would have been the third team in on him.
TCU. So they've had a pretty good run Texas. since the new coach has taken over.
Yeah, Coach Liptak.
There you go.
Got some new juju there, just like Jerry Kill at actual TCU. Love that guy so much. He is great as Gophers head coach. Next up, we have Kojo Antwe, a wide receiver out of Georgia, headed to the Ohio State. This guy had more points than Ty Simpson, 1,572 put in on him. 80-15-5 split between Pitt, Stanford, and Tulane, as Texas would have been the third team, but they're at 15 already. So Tulane sneaks in as the 4. Something to pay attention to on your boards. If you know a team's at 15, you can sneak in there behind them and kind of bump yourself because they can't recruit them. Smart play.
There you
and
go.
Then you just finish third anyway.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's a big one.
Oh,
that is a
Pitt,
big one.
If only you would have brought in Kojo in for a visit, you might have been able to separate yourself more.
Tristan, you're right. I probably do. I should have started that already. I need to go ahead and get that magic going too.
All right. Next up, Jadarian Price, a running back out of Texas, headed to Notre Dame. 70-20-10 split between TCU, Texas A&M, and UCSD.
Let's go Frogs.
Frogs are going to get him.
There we go.
Liptak really changing it there. All right, next up, Dallin Hayden, a running back out of Tennessee, headed to the Ohio State. Pitt thought he was getting him alone. Penn State snuck in there with 43.5 points in on him. So we have an 85-15 split between Pitt and Penn State.
That a way to use the board.
Oh, my God.
That a way to use the board.
That sucks. That just sucks.
He did bring Dallin Hayden in for a visit, so I got to give him props there. Just sometimes doesn't work out.
Beautifully played. Penn State.
All right, next up we have a solo commit. Generion Bonner, a wide receiver out of Georgia, headed to Georgia Tech as a solo commit. It's a lot of Georgia in there. Next we have Holden Greiner, QB out of Georgia headed to Auburn. 55-45 split between Texas A&M and Georgia Tech.
Let's get back-to-back Ray. There
Georgia
you go.
Tech.
Sorry, Skip.
Yeah. Sorry.
Next up, we have Jaden Ott, a running back out of Nevada, headed to Cal. 80-20 split between Penn State and Georgia Tech.
If Ray gets this one, does he double his entire class tonight?
He already
Yes.
has doubled it.
Yeah.
Good.
Nope.
He could
Penn
triple
State.
it.
But not
Oops.
this.
Good day for Penn State. Oops.
Good day for Penn State.
All right, next up is a couple solo commits and brings another team to 15. Justin Williams, a running back out of Georgia, headed to West Virginia, is solo committing to Georgia Tech. And Mason Taylor, a tight end out of Florida, is committed to USF, capping them at 15 recruits. So pending any trades, they will no longer be having any players commit to them. But it could happen on National Signing Day if one of their players decides to flip his decision.
I would say welcome to the club, but I actually saw myself out of the club promptly. So have fun, Kane, in Texas.
All right, Carl, if you wouldn't mind just kind of running back through that stuff again really quick for the locks and flips. A lot of people are asking like how that works for week 12 points with the entries and the recruit show, when we're doing flips and locks, and the off-season recruiting budget of 1,000 points, how it works on National Signing Day. A bunch of people missed that at the beginning. So if you could just run through that, please.
Yeah, we'll just cap the beginning and the end. We got this. All right, question 1 from Tyler. Week 12 points entry / recruit show. This is week 12. You enter these. You can submit them. We are giving you until Sunday night to submit them for Tuesday's show because we pushed this one back so you didn't know who was committing. So you have until Sunday night to submit your week 12 points. The show will be the same next Tuesday, just like normal. Flips and locks, you need to submit your flips and locks prior to National Signing Day. So if you have anybody you want to flip or you want to lock, submit them to your commissioner after the Tuesday show so you know everybody who's committed to teams prior to National Signing Day. The off-season recruiting budget, those 1,000 points, will be that next Friday is when you'll want to get those all in. So do a little grinding, figure out exactly who you want to go after, how many spots you have, and then also submit a list of any player you have at least 40 points in on. Create a list for yourself and order it. Put your power rankings together of those players or your rankings and submit them to your commissioner. And that's how we will send them to you if they're solo commits or depending on which way they commit. The players at the top will go to you before the others if you reach 15. If you only have like 3 recruits, like someone next to me, you can get 12 guys that day. So you don't really even have to worry about submitting one.
No, man. Wrong way.
But you still can just in case. And then National Signing Day will occur after those 1,000 points have been used, but we will do flips and locks prior to that. So most likely the scenario is the Tuesday after we're going to do flips and locks, and then the following Tuesday is when we'll do the National Signing Day shows because those take a little bit more time, and we don't want to merge it all together. So we'll let the flips and locks settle in, and then we'll really let the fun begin.
Yeah, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. The National Signing Days may be like one conference an episode because last year I'm almost positive me and Carl did that show for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I don't want to spend that much.
We separated them and we did it for an hour.
Yeah,
we separated them.
We definitely don't want to do a 3-hour show one
we
night.
Did miss
we also did not have any
portion.
Caps, and
True.
we didn't have we had some schools getting 40 players on National Signing Day. Some certain schools. Let me make sure I'm turning the right way. Some certain schools.
Yeah, but we'll like Carl said, we'll do the locks and flips 1 week, and then give everybody a week to kind of like readjust to who they just lost and or gained. For that, again, we'll remind you guys about that. So this is the last week for regular recruiting, as in you can still only put in 200 points. Again, as they mentioned, just a reminder, you guys can get that in by Sunday since we did the show on Thursday this week. Obviously, if you can get it done by tomorrow night, that would be preferable because it gives them a lot more time to do that. They can do the graphics and everything, but if not, we understand because we put this out 2 days later than usual. So if you guys have any other questions, let us know. We will be happy to answer them. Outside of that, to the 6 teams in the playoff matchups for a chance to get into the national championship. Good luck. And we
May
will
the odds be ever
crown
in your favor.
or will we
And if
we
you have
won't be
Malik
crowning a national
Cunningham,
champion.
you're out to a great start.
No, none of them have Malik Cunningham. That's what I was looking at. Unless it was SMU because they had 49, but I'm pretty sure he had 50-something points already in the first half. So, yes, it could have been him. But, yeah, it didn't look like any of them started Malik Cunningham. So, we will talk to you guys again next week.